I never thought it would happen to me. I was an ordinary person, going about my everyday life. I had a decent job, a loving family, and a circle of close friends. Life was normal, until it wasn't. It all started innocently enough. I met someone new, a charming and charismatic individual who seemed to take a keen interest in me. They were persuasive, and soon I found myself drawn into their world. They talked about how special and chosen I was, how I had a unique destiny awaiting me. They spoke with such conviction, such passion, that I couldn't help but be captivated by their words. Little did I know that I was being slowly indoctrinated into a murderous cult. At first, it was all so subtle. They shared with me their ideology, their beliefs, their way of life. They convinced me that their cause was just, that the world was corrupt, and that we had to take matters into our own hands. They preyed on my vulnerabilities, my insecurities, and my deepest fears. They played on my desire to belong, to be part of something greater than myself. I was vulnerable, and they took advantage of it. As time went on, the cult's teachings became more radical. They demanded absolute loyalty and obedience. They isolated me from my family and friends, convincing me that they were unworthy or dangerous influences. They controlled every aspect of my life, from my thoughts and beliefs to my actions and behaviors. They manipulated me into doing things I never thought possible. The first time I killed someone, it was surreal. I felt detached from reality, as if I was watching myself from outside my own body. The cult leader praised me, hailing me as a hero, a savior. They convinced me that I was making a difference, that my actions were necessary for the greater good. They used fear, guilt, and manipulation to keep me under their control, to silence my conscience and numb my emotions. As the cult's activities became more heinous, I became increasingly trapped in a web of violence and darkness. I witnessed acts of brutality and horror that shook me to the core. I saw the cult's true nature, the depths of their depravity, and their utter lack of empathy or compassion. I realized that I had become a pawn in their twisted game, a tool for their sinister agenda. Yet I couldn't break free. The cult had a grip on me that was too strong to resist. They had become my family, my only source of support and validation. I was trapped in a cycle of fear, manipulation, and violence, unable to escape or seek help. I was haunted by the blood on my hands, by the lives I had taken in the name of the cult's ideology. But deep down, a part of me still resisted. A small voice inside me kept urging me to break free, to fight back, to reclaim my autonomy and humanity. I struggled with conflicting emotions, torn between the cult's brainwashing and my own inner moral compass. The cognitive dissonance was overwhelming, and I felt like I was losing my sanity. One night, during a ritual, I witnessed something that shook me to my core. I saw the cult leader commit a heinous act, a betrayal of everything they had preached. It shattered the illusion they had carefully crafted, revealing their true nature. In that moment, I realized that I had been duped, that I had been manipulated into becoming a monster. A fire ignited within me. I couldn't stand by any longer. I had to put an end to the cult's atrocities, even if it meant risking my own life. I secretly made plans to gather evidence, to expose the cult to the authorities. It was a dangerous endeavor, but I was determined to expose the cult and put an end to their reign of terror. I secretly recorded their rituals, documenting their vile acts of violence and manipulation. I witnessed the sacrifices they made, the innocent lives they took in their twisted quest for power and control. One horrifying event that will forever be etched in my memory was the night they brought in a new recruit. They subjected him to a brutal initiation ceremony, where he was forced to prove his loyalty by committing a gruesome act. I watched in horror as the young man, eyes wide with fear, plunged a knife into the heart of an innocent victim, ending their life in cold blood. The cult members cheered and praised him, while I recoiled in disgust at the senseless violence. There were other atrocities as well. I saw the cult leader manipulate and exploit vulnerable individuals, taking advantage of their weaknesses and insecurities for their own gain. They coerced members into committing acts of self-harm and mutilation as a twisted form of initiation. I witnessed psychological manipulation, gaslighting, and emotional abuse that left deep scars on the victims. As I gathered evidence, I also faced increasing danger. The cult became suspicious of my actions and questioned my loyalty. I had to be cautious, constantly looking over my shoulder, afraid of being caught. I couldn't trust anyone within the cult, as they were all indoctrinated into the same twisted ideology. But I was determined to see it through, to expose the cult and put an end to their atrocities. I reached out to trusted authorities, providing them with the evidence I had gathered. They took my claims seriously and launched an investigation into the cult's activities. However, the cult was not about to go down without a fight. They discovered my betrayal and turned against me. I became the target of their rage and vengeance. I received threatening messages, warning me to stay silent or face dire consequences. I was stalked, harassed, and even attacked by cult members. In a desperate attempt to silence me, the cult leader confronted me personally. They tried to convince me to stay, to continue serving their cause. They promised me power, wealth, and glory if I would just stay loyal to them. But I knew their promises were empty, their words nothing but lies to maintain their control. In a gut-wrenching finale, the cult leader revealed their true colors. They showed no remorse, no empathy, and no humanity. They exposed their ruthless and sadistic nature, unleashing their full wrath upon me. I was cornered, outnumbered, and faced with the grim reality that I might not make it out alive. With all the evidence I had gathered, the authorities finally raided the cult's compound. Chaos erupted as cult members tried to resist, but ultimately, they were arrested and taken into custody. The cult's horrific activities were exposed to the world, sending shockwaves through the community. As for me, I barely escaped with my life. I was battered, bruised, and traumatized by my experiences. The cult's influence had left deep scars on my psyche, and I struggled to come to terms with the monstrous acts I had witnessed and participated in. In the aftermath, I received therapy and support to help me heal from the trauma. I had lost everything: my friends, my sense of identity, and my peace of mind. But I was determined to rebuild my life, to make amends for my past actions, and to never let myself be manipulated or controlled again. Looking back, I am haunted by the memories of the cult and the darkness I was once a part of. I am grateful that I had the strength to break free and expose their atrocities, but the scars of my experiences will never fully fade.